I'm not rolling out of bed late, scrambling like a mess, or disorganized like some amateur. Nah, man, that ain't me. That's why these routines matter, because it's about discipline. You got to wake up and build yourself up. No one's handing you shit. You give yourself belief. You give yourself confidence. It fucking starts with that first step out the door. I'm out there every damn day running for 90 minutes to 2 hours. No excuses. Then I refuel, hit the gym. And after that, I'm tackling whatever's on the plan. That's how it is. No shortcuts, no bullshit. People act like they don't have time. Bullshit. There's 24 hours in a day, and I'm using every second of it. That's why I'm maxing out success. I ain't leaving room for slacking off. And you want to know what fuels that hard fucking work? Not this soft, fake motivational crap you hear out there. I don't need to look in the mirror, scream, or pound my chest. You know what I got? A damn resume of real work. I've put in the hours, the calluses on my hands, the scars on my mind. That's the proof. You don't need that mirror talk if you've built something real. Look, man, life's throwing some shit your way. And a lot of it ain't your fault. But guess what? No one's coming to save your ass. You got to go back to where it all broke down, face that darkness, and fix yourself. That's what I did. I didn't wait for someone to tell me how I figured that shit out. Most people don't even know how to motivate themselves. They need their headphones blasting hype music to get going. Cool, but what happens when the music stops? It's just you and your thoughts. And most of why all can't handle that silence, but I can. I'll live for that shit. That's why I tell people I'm not out here talking theories. I'm not some dude who read a self-help book. I lived it. I threw myself into the fire over and over like forging a fucking sword. You beat the hell out of that metal. And eventually you get something strong. That's what I did. I stopped running, stopped making excuses, and threw myself back into the flames again and again. Harder each time. And guess what? My mind became iron. That's how you grow. That's how you grow. That's how you win. You're out here counting on people to pull you through shit. You look to your right and your left, always hoping someone's going to save you. Fuck that. If you don't build yourself, if you don't own your shit 100%, you're done. And it's not about being selfish. It's about making a stronger you. I'm trying to create the best version of myself. So maybe someone listening will get it and say, I can run a mile. I don't give a fuck if it's 205 miles or 1 mile. It's about seeing how far you can go. You all wake up at 5 a.m. running around some golf course thinking that's enough. Nah, man, I realized a long time ago, I'm not like most people. I've got something others don't. It's not talent. It's that work ethic, that hunger for more. I built it brick by brick, through the pain, through the grind. Working out was never just about the body. It was about facing my damn struggles head on. I ran from shit my whole life, but then I realized I needed to stop running and start embracing the pain. I wasn't training for trophies. I was training for life. And here's the thing, discipline, repetition. That's what toughens your mind. You do the shit you hate day in, day out, and that builds mental armor. Your brain starts getting used to the suck. It's like we suffer. That's what we do. So when life throws hell your way, you don't flinch, you're fucking ready for it. That's how I came up. I got real uncomfortable day after day, and now it's just who I am. I stopped giving a shit about what people think. Stop worrying about being judged. If I stutter, if I fuck up, if people want to laugh at me, I don't care anymore. And guess what? That's when shit started to change. You hit that point where you're finally at peace with who you are, and people can't fuck with you anymore. Even when they try, it just doesn't touch you. So what do you want out of life? Everyone's so damn lost, drowning in all this noise, too busy to even know what they really want. We don't spend time figuring ourselves out. But I wasn't about to sit in my shit forever. I give myself a couple of minutes to feel it. And then I tell myself, all right, time to man the fuck up. What's next? This shit didn't come natural to me. Man, it's a fucking trained skill. I'm always thinking ahead, always preparing for what's next. No room to be a bitch about it. People get stuck at one point, like they hit a wall and just fold. Like Jennifer, if she can't run for some weak ass reason, it'll mess her up, piss her off over some simple shit. But here's the thing, I got to a point in my life where I realized this is just life. And you got to move on. So people ask me, David, what the hell are you going to do if you can't run anymore? Motherfucker, I'll swim, I'll go back to school, I'll figure it the fuck out. Running isn't my life. I know life can take things from you in a heartbeat. So I'm always ready for that next chapter. That's why I front load my life with preparation. I wasn't always like this though. When I was younger, I was a weak ass piece of shit. Always telling myself I can't do this. I'm not good enough. But the second I pulled my head out of my ass, I realized you can achieve a lot. You stop being a lazy fuck and start moving. That's when my life flipped. Now I'm happy because this grind, this is what I fucking live for. People talk about balance like it's this magical thing everyone should strive for. Fuck balance. Balance is a lie. To become the best version of yourself, you've got to be unbalanced as hell. You've got to go all in. Maybe balance is cool for most people, but not for me. Everything in my life, my physical discipline, my mental toughness, all comes from pushing my limits. You see, the physical shit I put myself through gave me discipline. That same discipline helps me sit down and study when I need to. Some people can learn something in an hour. It might take me 10 hours to learn the same shit. And that's frustrating as hell. But that's where the grind transfers. It's not just about the workouts, the running, the swimming, or breaking pull-up records. The hardest shit I face is learning. But the discipline I built from waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning, running in the freezing cold, lifting, swimming, that discipline carries over to everything else in my life. I don't wake up every day excited to work out. It's not fun, but it's necessary. And working out isn't just about the body for me. It's a huge part of my mental growth. I've realized early on, if I'm not pushing myself every single day, I'm dying inside. People can't believe it, but I used to be over 300 laps twice in my life. I fucking hated cardio, hated everything about it. But the shit I hate is where the growth happens. That's the only place growth happens, in the uncomfortable zone. So I make sure I visit that place every single day. The military didn't teach me this. It was on me. I had zero discipline growing up, no self-control. But I realized if I wanted to change my life, I had to start building it. I sucked at reading, sucked at writing, and I've got learning disabilities out the ass. But none of that shit matters when you've got discipline and a fucking relentless drive to be better. I sat my ass down at that table and just started grinding, reading, writing, and learning. I sucked at it, but that's where it all started. That discipline with learning translated over to working out. I was 16, reading at a 4th grade level. And I realized if I'm ever going to make it into the military, I got to pass this damn test. That's when I knew I had to focus. When you've got a list of shit wrong with you, you can't freak out about it and think, oh my God, I got to fix all of this. Nah, man. You focus on one thing at a time. For me, it was I want to be smart. And that was hard as hell, especially with my learning disabilities. I didn't learn like everyone else, so I had to figure out how I was going to do it. I had to strategize. So I looked at my strengths and weaknesses and I figured out a way to make it work. I'm not like most people, so I had to break things down. When I had that 1,000-page manual to study, I didn't just hope to pass. Hell no, man. I got the manual 18 months in advance because I knew I'd have to write every single page down, maybe 10 times, just to burn it into my memory. By the time the test came, I'd written those questions so many times, I could recall them just by remembering where I saw it in my notes. That's how I fucking did it. You got to attack each problem one at a time. Don't look at the whole mountain and say, this is impossible. You break it down step by step, and before you know it, you've handled all that shit. But you can't fix everything at once. Just pick one thing and own it. In life, we all carry a rucksack. In the military, that's the pack where you carry your gear. Your rucksack is filled with all the crap you've been through. For most civilians, it's the weight of their past, everything they've dealt with. And let me tell you, my rucksack was heavy as fuck. My dad abused me. I had a learning disability. I stuttered. I was immature, insecure, full of self-doubt. I lied to make friends because I didn't feel good enough. My pack was loaded with so much shit and I was dragging that weight around, but I knew no one was coming to help me. There was no one to lift that weight off my back. It's just you in that mirror. You have to realize this is a lonely journey. And on this earth, it's up to you to carry that load and keep moving forward. A lot of the shit that broke you, yeah, it ain't your fault. Why you feel the way you do, why you act the way you do, some of that shit was put on you. But guess what? No one's coming to save your ass. You've got to go back to that place where it all started and have the courage to fix it. That's what I did. I got fed up with my own bullshit and said, fuck this, I'm going back to fix it. The thing is, I know how to self-motivate. A lot of people don't. They rely on music or some hype before the big game, like putting on headphones and getting in the zone. But what the fuck do you do when the headphones come off? It's just you in your own mind. That's where the real battle is. I know how to fight that battle. That's the hard part. I don't listen to music when you run. I want to face that pain head on raw. When I was suffering out there, I wanted you to think about me. I wanted you to know that after you walked away, I was still out there grinding, suffering for 100 more hours, and I was comfortable in that misery. I want you to think about that when you're in your cozy bed. For a long time, I was only fixing shit on the surface. If I couldn't read, I learned to read. If I couldn't write, I learned to write. But I was just fixing symptoms, man. So when something really hard came up, I was like, what the fuck? I thought I fixed this already. But no, I hadn't dug deep enough. I wasn't getting to the root of it. I didn't go down into the dungeon of my soul and ask what's making you quit, what's making you weak, what's making you scared. That's why I kept quitting, man. That's why I kept falling back into old patterns. I didn't have the tools to handle real hardship. So I tell people, I'm not some theorist. I didn't read a bunch of books on motivation. I put my ass in the fire again and again like a sword. You put that sword in the fire, you beat the shit out of it, and eventually become strong as hell. That's what I did to myself. I kept throwing myself back into the fire, beating that sword harder and harder. And slowly I realized, hey, this brain of mine is getting tougher. This mind that used to be afraid, that used to quit, is changing. I was fat. I stuttered. I had all these issues with reading and writing, and I was insecure as fuck. But I couldn't live like that anymore. I couldn't live in fear, couldn't live worrying about what people thought of me. So I started handling my shit. Reading, learning, working out, eating right, it's all connected. You start neglecting one thing, and before you know it, you're neglecting everything. And if you let that shit slip, it'll haunt you. You've got to keep grinding every single day. When you start noticing shit, I haven't been eating right, I haven't been sleeping well, you realize that's all it takes to throw you off your game. One little slip up in any of those areas, diet, sleep discipline, and you're fucked. I'm always hyper aware of that. My eating, my sleeping, my daily disciplines, if I let myself drift too far from them, it's a hard stop. I have to snap back into it fast. You know what pisses me off more than anything these days? Seeing so many people die without ever tapping into their full potential. Why? Because they think someone else is better than them. They convince themselves that they were born with shitty tools, so they don't even try. That's bullshit. What you really need is the ability to grind your ass into the ground, into fine powder, and then find a way to build yourself back up again, over and over. That's how you get stronger. That's how you grow. Most people, they set these damn finish lines in their minds. They think, oh, I'm tired, time to stop. Fuck that. I don't stop when I'm tired, I stop when I'm done. Man, the only way to get anywhere in life is to grind, period. Don't understand something, read it again. Still not getting it, write it out. Can't swim, keep getting your ass in that water. Keep going back until you figure it out. That's how I learned, man. I kept going back again and again until my mind finally said, all right, fuck it, we're doing this. We're not stopping until we get it. I always connected working out to struggle because my whole life was a struggle. And I used to run from that shit. But then I realized, no, man, you got to start facing the struggle head on. You got to be mentally strong for it. I'm training for life, man, mentally. I'm not training just to lift weights or run miles. I'm training for life itself. What I learned through discipline, through repetition, doing the same hard shit over and over again, is that you build mental armor. You start to condition your mind. Your brain starts thinking, all right, this is what we do. We suffer, we struggle, we do shit that sucks every day. So when the real hard stuff hits, you're ready for it. I had two choices. Man, stay that 300-pound dude spraying for cockroaches, making a lousy $1,000 a month. Or I could keep fucking failing over and over until I finally succeeded. That's when shit started changing for me. I started finding some self-esteem. Once I had that, it was game over. I stopped giving a damn about what people thought, stopped worrying about being judged. Like, oh, if I say this or do that, are they going to laugh at me? Fuck that. I stopped caring. And that's when doors started opening up. Slowly but surely, I realized working out wasn't just about getting stronger. It was about building calluses on my mind. I had to toughen up, man. I had to kill that victim mentality. All those people out there waking up early doing shit that looked brutal. I was like, that's what I need to do. Not to look better or be bigger, but to build me. That shit looked uncomfortable. And that's exactly why I had to do it. Waking up at 5 a.m., running when no one else was fuck. I didn't want to do any of that. So I made a list of things I hated doing. And guess what? Through doing those things, I found myself. I looked around and people weren't doing what I was doing. They weren't grinding like me. I started realizing I had something they didn't, a mindset, a drive. And that's when it all clicked. Through all the working out, the suffering, I developed this relentless work ethic. And through that work ethic, I found real self-esteem. I always thought of working out as a struggle. And I've been running from struggle my whole damn life. But then it hit me. I need to face the struggle head on, be mentally tough for it. That's when I started training my mind, not for trophies, not for recognition, but for life. Every day is about pushing myself to the limit, mentally and physically. I'm training for life, not for some shiny medal or to impress anyone. I learned through discipline and repetition, repeating the same miserable, hard shit. That's how you build mental armor. You do the stuff you don't want to do, and eventually your mind toughens up. It gets used to suffering. It expects it. So when the real hard stuff hits, you're not caught off guard. You're ready for it. That's how I came up, man. I embraced the uncomfortable, and now it's just a part of who I am. Being a solid human being isn't about tearing others down. It's about lifting people up. If someone's calling you names, bullying you, or trying to drag you down, they've got their own demons. Trust me. When you quit, your mind shuts down. There's no growth when you quit. But when you're in the thick of it, when everything sucks, when you're drowning and you say, fuck no, I'm not quitting, that's when your mind has to expand. It realizes you're not going anywhere, so it adapts, it figures shit out. You start using parts of your brain you didn't even know existed. That's when you level up. That's when you find out what you're really made of. When you're deep in that suffering and you say, I aren't fucking quitting, you're forcing your brain to operate at a level it's not even familiar with. But guess what? It gets used to it. You adapt. I was always like, all right, what's next? I never liked sitting in my own shit for too long. I give myself a couple minutes tops, and then let's get back to it. That mindset, that's a trained skill. I was always preparing for the next phase, for life not to be a bitch. Everything I do, man, I'm never really comfortable doing it. But here's the thing, you've got two options when you choose to do something. You can either roll through it like a weak little punk, barely getting by, and that's the reputation you build for yourself. Or you can show up as the hardest motherfucker in the room and own it. Attack it like it's life or death. Because that's how people are going to remember you. And me, I want people to know I always fucking attacked it. You can hate me. I don't give a damn, but you can't say I didn't go all in. What fueled me? I came from nothing, man. I was in the worst shape of my life, going through the hardest training in the world. And I thought, what if I graduate with these studs? These dudes were gladiators, all healthy and strong. And here I am, broken as shit. But if I can start this journey shattered and still come out the other side, then I'll be more than just a man. I'll be the hardest son of a bitch to ever live. The only people who get through that kind of hell are the ones who've been there 1,000 times in their minds. They've lived in that suffering. They've accepted the misery. My legs will break. My bones will ache. I'll be colder than I've ever been in my life. But I'm going to push through. And here's the thing, my body was breaking down, but I told myself my mind's stronger. The only way out for me was death. Either I become a Navy SEAL or I die trying, period. That's where the mind-body connection kicks in. Your body says, all right, fuck it, we're doing this. There's no looking for help from anyone else. Too many people are always looking to their right, looking to their left, hoping someone will save them. Nah, you have to build yourself. Total accountability, man. This isn't selfish. This is about creating a stronger version of yourself so others can look at you and say, damn, if he can do it, so can I. It ain't about running 200 miles or lifting crazy weights. It's about seeing how far you can go. My biggest trophy isn't some medal or achievement. It's the journey I went through, the struggle. That's what I want people to get. There's no finish line, no magical place where you've made it. It's all about the struggle. You have to suffer. You have to push yourself. And through that suffering, you'll find out who the hell you really are. The bigger the struggle, the bigger the peace. The bigger the suffering, the more peace. But here's the hard truth. It might not be your fault why you do what you do or feel the way you feel, but nobody's coming to save your ass. No one. You got to go back to where the shit started, where it all went wrong, and have the balls to face it head on. You got to dig into that dark place that broke you and start fixing that shit. That's what I had to do. I said, I'm fucked up, but I'm going back to fix this. Now, I know how to self-motivate. A lot of motherfuckers out there don't know how to do that. They need the music, the hype, the headphones before a big game. But here's the question, what the fuck do you do when the headphones come off, bro? When it's just you and your mind, that's the battlefield. I know how to win that battle. And that's the hard part right there. Look, man, I've created a dark side of place where I can go, that's so fucked up, nothing can hurt me. Your brain is the most powerful weapon you've got. I used to fix things on the surface like learning to read or write, but when the real hard times hit, I didn't have the tools to deal with it. I'd be like, man, I thought I handled this. But nah, I didn't go deep enough. I didn't dig into the dungeon of my soul to ask the real questions. What makes you weak? What makes you a quitter? What are you scared of? That's why I kept quitting, restarting, not knowing how to push through the hard times. And that's why I always tell people I'm not a theorist. I didn't read this in some damn book. I lived it. I threw myself into the fire over and over again, like a sword, man. You put that sword in the fire and beat the shit out of it over and over, and eventually it becomes unbreakable. That's what I did to myself. I beat the shit out of myself in that fire until I became something different. I told myself, we're not quitting. We got to figure out what's broken and fix it. So I kept putting the sword back in the fire and beat it harder each time. And after a while, my brain got stronger. I started realizing, all right, man, you're getting tougher. I don't enjoy it, but it's necessary. Every day I wake up, it's not just about working out, it's about mental growth. Working out is a big part of it, but the real work is in the mind. If I'm not pushing myself every single day, people wouldn't believe it. I was almost 300 fucking pounds twice in my life. Twice. A dude that lets that happen twice does not love cardio. So you can tell yourself whatever story you want, but here's the truth, the shit you don't enjoy, but still do. That's where the real fucking growth happens. That's the only place growth happens. It's in that uncomfortable zone. And I have to hit that zone every damn day. I learned early that change only comes through discipline. The military didn't teach me that. I figured it out myself. I had zero discipline, zero self-control. And I knew if I didn't get my shit together, I'd stay at the bottom. I sucked at reading. I sucked at writing. I had so many learning disabilities, it was embarrassing. So I had to sit my ass down and grind, spend hours reading, writing, learning. And that struggle, it built my discipline. That's where it started. I carried that mindset into my workouts. I was 16 when I realized I'm at a damn fourth grade reading level, and I won't even make it into the military unless I level up. That's when I really started grinding. My rucksack, my bag, it was full of bullshit. I had my dad beating the hell out of me. I had learning disabilities. I was insecure as fuck, and I lied all the time to make friends. But here's the thing, no one's coming to help you carry that shit. No one. You're on your own. That's the hard truth. So you got to start by looking in the mirror and owning your shit. Everything that's happened to you, all the pain, all the scars that's on you now, to deal with it. Doesn't matter how unfair it is. Doesn't matter that someone else caused it. You own it now. You're responsible for fixing it. It's not fair. But sitting around in that woe is me mindset, thinking about how life screwed you over, that'll keep you right where you are stuck. You can't control what happened, but you can control how you move forward. And that's what separates the weak from the strong. So own your shit and stop waiting for someone to come save you. They're not coming. You got to figure out how to move forward, because no one's coming back to save your ass. It starts with the mirror. I call it the accountability mirror. That's where it all begins. It's all on you. Every bit of it. You want someone to hold you accountable, stop looking around. Stop looking left and right, waiting for someone to pull you out of the shit. You're counting on other people way too much. If you want to win, you got to build that self-accountability. And it's not about being selfish. Nah, it's about creating a better, stronger you. Most people out here just want to be the best among average people. That's their bar. They wonder, how do you stay hungry all the time? Because here's the thing, after I accomplish something, I don't sit back like all those other dudes. You know, the ones who graduate buds, they get that title and then they chill. They get comfortable and then they start to lose their edge. They wonder why they're getting weak, why they're not the same. It's because they think once they hit the top of the mountain, they're done. Nah, fuck that. Once you hit the top, you got to build a new mountain. That's how you stay hungry. Everything I do, I'm uncomfortable as hell doing it. But when you choose to do something, you've got two options. You can go in half-assed, weak as hell. And that's what people will remember about you. Or you can go in full throttle, be the hardest motherfucker you can possibly be, and that will be your legacy. If you choose to do something, attack it. Because people will remember you for either attacking it or for backing down. And I don't want anyone to ever say I didn't attack. You can hate me, you can talk shit about me. But one thing you'll never be able to say is, I didn't go all the way. There's a shitload of power in being able to go on a big podcast and say, ask me anything. I'll tell you whatever the fuck you want to know. I don't care anymore. That's freedom. Being able to throw your entire life up on a billboard for the whole world to judge and just say, go ahead, judge it, man. Just talking about it makes me feel lighter. And that's the thing, it's liberating when you own how fucked up you are. That weight you've been dragging around for years, it starts coming off your shoulders. That's why I do it so often. I'll tell anyone anything because I'm done hiding. I'm done being afraid. I'm done lying about how good I'm not. I had to reinvent a whole human being. I spent countless nights at home, sitting alone, broken. And I don't just mean physically, mentally, spiritually, everything. I had no strength, no toughness, no power. I was empty. When you grow up in a small ass town where nobody really gets out, it messes with your mind. All you want to do is become somebody, but you don't even know how to start. That small town life closes your mind off. It makes you narrow, keeps you trapped. And if you don't get the fuck out, if you don't open your mind to see what's out there, you'll stay stuck. I had to break out. I had to see the world beyond that small ass place. A lot of the bullshit in this world, racism, ignorance, it all comes from people who never got out, who never saw anything beyond their little bubble. Their minds are shut off. And that's why they judge so hard. They don't know any better. You got to be like David Goggins and face it head on. Say, man, I'm scared as fuck. Life beat the hell out of me. I stutter. I can't read or write for shit. I'm fat. I'm insecure. You got to confront all that shit in the darkest corners of your mind. And in that dark room, you have to build a whole new human being who's ready to step out and face the world. That's the only way out. Yeah, I struggled like hell with learning when I was growing up, but when it came to reading people, I was a genius. I had to be, because I lived in hell. I spent so much time watching people, figuring out who I could trust, who I couldn't, reading their energy. I got damn good at reading people's energy. That's how I survived. I was always studying, learning, adapting. That's how I move forward. Sometimes the problem ain't what you think it is. Like when your back hurts, but it's really some other shit in your body causing the pain. Same with life, man. You think you can't get past the hurdle. It's not the hurdle. It's some deeper shit inside holding you back. And until you face that, you're going to stay stuck. So like I said, every damn day I'm looking in the mirror, asking myself the hard questions. What the fuck is it? What am I missing? And there was only one thing left. I hadn't looked at the beast, that demon from the past. So I went back. I stared that motherfucker in the face again. And right there I knew. That was the unsolved mystery. I had to confront that man one more time. Just like when I studied that Navy SEAL talking shit and lying, I got it from that moment in the book. I stopped seeing him as some big bad beast. I dug into who he was. I did my research. And you know what I found? His dad used to beat the living shit out of him. His old man would stand him in front of a damn furnace, flames raging, strip him down bare ass naked and whip him like he didn't give a fuck. The message was clear: if you move, you burn. Stay there and take the pain. That man carried those demons from his father passing to mine. And my father, he tried to push that same shit onto me. I had to understand where my father came from. Why the hell was he so brutal? Why did he fuck us up like that? I found the answers then. And with those answers, I didn't let it destroy me. I used them to make myself stronger. That's why I had to go back. Not for some bullshit apology. Not to sit there and say, yeah, you messed me up. Now I got a reason to be a loser. Fuck no. An apology would have just given me an excuse, a way out. I'd be sitting there justified in my failure, like, yeah, you did this to me. Now it's okay if I fall short. That's weak. So I went searching for that closure, thinking I'd get it. But along the way, I heard that voice, this isn't on your dad anymore. And I fought that shit, man, because for years, I let that other voice tell me this is your dad's fault. But this new voice, it kept getting louder, real loud. The closer I got to Buffalo, the clearer it was. The truth hit me hard. Yeah, your dad did a lot of fucked up things, but at the end of the day, you got to make it on your own. No excuses. You've got a long road ahead, and it's all on you now. That voice was getting louder and louder, screaming at me from the inside. By the time I reached that door, by the time I was stepping out of that house, something snapped. Instead of feeling sorry for myself, I started doing a live autopsy. Yeah, you heard me, a live one. Most people wait until you're dead to figure out why you stopped living, but guess what? I was dying every single day while I was still breathing. Alive, but fucking dead inside. So I tore myself open, figured out what the hell was killing me. And once I figured it out, man, I got reborn. You think you can just coast through life, avoid the pain, bullshit. Trauma's coming. Devastation is coming. You're going to get rocked by life, no doubt about it. But here's the difference: that shit ain't gonna stop me. It's not a roadblock. It's an obstacle that I'm gonna bulldoze through no matter how hard it gets. That takes real toughness, real grit. So what the fuck are you doing today, tomorrow, next week? That's why I don't listen to all these theorists, all that soft ass talk. I listen to the guy who's in the trenches who's like, man, I'm fucking tired. I'm worn out. Why? Because I got to get up tomorrow and do this shit all over again. That's the man I respect, the one who's in the fight day in, day out. Pain is there, it's brutal. But that's where the growth happens. You gain knowledge by suffering. On the other side of suffering, that's where the magic is. A place so few people ever get to. Is beautiful, man, because that's where you truly find yourself. Not on this side. No, you find yourself on the other side of hell. Like that 100-mile race I ran, 24 hours of pure misery. I found myself on the other end. Alone. You're always fucking alone. You might have a shrink, a friend, but there's 24 hours in a day and you're stuck with your own mind. And that mind is going to try to pull you into the darkness, make you weak. If you can't control your brain, if you let it control you, you're screwed. You're done. You got to take charge of that shit. Tell your brain where you want to go. Set the course. If you don't, it's game over. We all got more inside us than we think. All I did was grab that shovel and start digging my own path. Sure, others might be 200 miles ahead, moving faster, but I'm making my own way, my own grind. And you know what? You got to learn to shut out the noise. Be quiet in your mind. Step away from the bullshit and the people. Yeah, we love being around others. We love distractions, parties, all that noise. But it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be fucking miserable sometimes. I put my phone away. I go dark, real dark, because I need that. I'm on my own journey, and it's not for anyone else to understand. When I'm dead and gone, I want to look back and say I left it all out there. No regrets. I want to be fucking proud of myself forever. It's shit. It's all temporary to me. I'm not living for the now. I'm living for forever. I want to be proud of the man I was, not the weak ass, lying, insecure piece of shit I used to be. I want to leave this world knowing that I changed, that I'm fucking proud of who I became. If I die today, I want to look at myself and say, hell yeah, I did it. And you know what? It's okay to be unhappy sometimes. It's okay to say, you know what? I'm fucked up. But here's the thing. You've got to face that truth. Stop bullshitting yourself. Who the fuck are you? Really get real, get accountable, and ask yourself, who am I? What's the truth about you? Dig deep into that dark place in your mind. It might take months, hell, it might take years, but figure out who you are and what the fuck you want to be in life. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to find more of myself, but the only way I can do that is by silencing the damn world. The noise keeps getting louder. Life keeps speeding up. So you've got to go dark. You've got to quiet your mind, shut out the people, the distractions, all the bullshit. We love being around people, love talking, love the parties. But you know what? Sometimes you've got to go into those dark places in your mind, the ones you're scared of, and open that shit up. Face those demons head on. You've got to be real with yourself. No excuses. Who are you really? Get brutally honest and accountable. Get into the darkest corners of your mind and figure it out. It might take a long damn time, but when you figure out your purpose, what you want to do with your life, that's when you can really start. And look, you've got to accept it. Maybe you're not built for certain things. Maybe you're not LeBron James, but guess what? You've got pure guts, willpower, and the ability to push yourself beyond what you think is possible. People always think my knees are fucked up because I run too much. They're wrong. I wasn't born with some perfect body. Hell, I've got sickle cell. I've got a shitload of health issues, but I had a choice to make. I could either sit around feeling sorry for myself, or I could see how far I could push this body. And let me tell you, as I pushed harder, as I went deeper into my mind, my body followed. The pain in my knees, yes, sucks. But I've been dealing with that shit for so long, it's become my new normal. I don't let it stop me. When my knees hurt, I don't sit around whining. I tell myself, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Sometimes you got to ignore your damn feelings. For me, I made a decision. I decided I'm going to be the best version of myself. And a lot of mornings I wake up and say, fuck your feelings. Don't take that shit literally, but you get what I'm saying. I wanted to run. I wanted to push myself. And I knew, yeah, I might need knee replacements down the line. But it wasn't because I ran too much. People love to talk shit, say, oh man, you don't want to be like David Goggins, running too much, messing up your body. Guess what? I'm doing just fine. Don't worry about being me. Worry about finding out who the fuck you are. I studied the darkness, man. The light, that shit doesn't give you any answers, none. It's too happy, too easy, too comfortable. We don't need to be taught how to live in the light. Happiness, that just happens when things are going good. But the dark times, man, you can't understand them unless you throw yourself into the fire. Life will drag your ass there, no doubt about it. But when you get into those dark moments, that's when the real work begins. People ask me, how the hell do you write like this? Goggins, it's simple. I go there, I put myself in those fucked up places, and I study the darkness. This shit isn't just about the physical grind. When I was growing up, I saw my mom getting beat. I got beat. I was a stuttering little black kid in an all-white school, standing on stage with one damn line to say, and I couldn't even get that out. I walked off in front of 15 people, embarrassed as hell. All those insecurities, all that self-doubt, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'd go home and cry thinking, man, what the fuck is wrong with me? But as I got older, I realized something. If I was going to survive this shit, I needed to study it. So that's what I did. Every time I was in a dark moment, whether life was beating me down, whether it was physical pain or emotional wreckage, I got in there with a pen and paper and I dissected it. I wrote that shit down and said, okay, this fucking sucks. I'm losing my mind, but I'm going to figure this out. You can't fit discipline, structure, consistency, or the grind into your life if you haven't cleared out the mental clutter. Most people's heads are like a junkyard full of shit they haven't dealt with. And then they wonder why they can't stay disciplined or stick to their goals. You've got to clear that shit out. You've got to face the darkness and make sense of it. That's how your mindset has to be across the board. Don't give words like failure power. Too many people let that word beat them down. Not me. I take that power back immediately. There is no failure, just attempts, and you get stronger every damn time. You keep going until you break through. I didn't fucking fail. The reason I am who I am today is cause I stripped myself down to nothing, broke myself down to the raw core, man. I hit rock bottom and had the balls to face it, to look people dead in the eyes and say, you know what, man, I've been full of shit. I've lied, I've cheated, I'm insecure as fuck. This version of me ain't real. I lied to you. I lied to myself because I wanted people to like me. That's the real shit. But people are quick to judge without understanding where that shit started. Life molded me into that weak ass version. And I had to wake the fuck up and realize, man, it ain't all my fault. But now I got to go back and fix it. You see, maybe a lot of shit you're carrying isn't even your fault. Why you act a certain way, why you act a certain way, why you feel like you do. But guess what? No one's coming to save your sorry ass. You've got to be the one to go back to that dark place, find where the fuck it all started and fix it. And that takes guts most people just don't have. It's not fun, hell no, man. It's not some addictive thing where you want to stay there. But going back to that, pain changes you. It changes how you look at people, how you look at life. If I'd been handed everything, born with a silver spoon, I wouldn't be who I am today. Where I'm from, I had to claw my way out. And I cracked open doors others don't even see. That's what pisses me off about other people. They don't push themselves. They don't realize they can go there too. Now, I know I've got the power to lock in, to hyper focus and do some insane shit. Not because I'm special, but because I'm open-minded enough to fucking push my limits. Growth mentally, spiritually, is all connected, man. And you start feeling that when you get after it, when you push yourself every damn day, mentally and physically. You can't live with that weak, normal mindset. You've got to show up as your best self, even on your shittiest days, by refusing to think like everyone else. You can't have a weak, ordinary mind. The biggest lesson I've learned, if you keep taking the easy way out, you'll never toughen your mind. I was a damn chameleon, blending in, just barely scraping by. I see it now, man. Most people live with that normal weak-ass mindset. They don't talk about the 1%, the ones who want it so bad they'll bleed for it. When shit gets hard, they push back harder. And that's where it counts. It's not for everyone to understand, and that's okay. Here's the fucking truth, man. It ain't right to sugarcoat shit, especially when it comes to your own damn life. Let's say you're fat. Man, I was fat too. Yeah, I fucking talk about it because I lived it. You want to say something about it, bring it. Because I know what it's like to drag your fat ass out of bed every single day. I know how hard it is. But here's the real deal. I can't want it more than you do. And most people, they just want the easy way out. Sorry, man, it doesn't work like that. What they start doing is they create this bullshit narrative like it's okay. No, it's not fucking okay. The narrative should be you need to work harder. You need to discipline your weak ass mind. We need to be real with people, not coddle them and say, it's okay that you're not willing to help yourself. It's not okay. It's unacceptable. Yeah, it's your life, but if that's what you accept for yourself, you're already losing. I wouldn't be shit if I accepted that for myself. People start spinning stories in their heads, giving themselves the ultimate get out of jail free card. And now the world's set up with so many excuses, man. Everything's okay. And you can't say a motherfucking thing about it. But I'm not here to tell you it's okay. I want you to come with me. I'm taking your ass down my road. I'm a storyteller, and I'm taking you back to my personal hell. Buffalo, New York, man. That's where I got my ass beat every damn day. Funny enough, we lived on a street called Paradise Road, but it was anything but paradise. That's the whole point, man. We're all scared to dive deep into our own lives. We're scared to look at what made us who we are. But that's where the beauty is. We're all fucked up in some way, and that's what makes us beautiful. I'm jacked up too, but I figured out my own process to get my shit together. It's not going to be the same for you. I think differently, man. My part-time savage was running 50 miles a week. And let me tell you, when I was out there running, I'd set a goal, okay, 10 miles today. But guess what? That demon inside me, the one I unleash every fucking morning, he'd show up and say, no, bitch, not today. You're not done. There's someone out there running 12, 13, 14 miles, and when you meet him, you better be ready. So I kept running. I want to be forever proud of the man I am, to destroy the weak-ass liar I used to be. If I died today, I want to look in the mirror and say I'm fucking proud of myself. It's okay to be unhappy sometimes, man. It's okay to get pissed off and say, I've had enough. But first, you got to face the truth. Who the fuck are you? Get accountable. Get real. Go to that dark place in your mind and figure it out. It might take months, hell, it might take years, but find your purpose. Figure out what kind of person you want to be in life. And then get after it, no excuses. Look, man, if you want to find more of yourself, you got to shut the whole fucking world out. It's getting louder, faster, and more chaotic every damn day. The faster this world spins, the more you lose track of who the fuck you really are. You've got to go dark. You've got to quiet that noise in your head, cut out all the bullshit, and get away from people. Yeah, we love being around people. We love talking, partying, all that shit. But guess what? Sometimes you need to be alone. You need to get uncomfortable in your own fucking silence. It's okay to be unhappy. It's okay to say, you know what, man, I'm fucked up. But you've got to start with the truth. Who are you really? Get accountable. Be brutally honest with yourself and ask, what's the real fucking truth about me? You've got to go into those dark, ugly places in your mind that you've been hiding from. Those chambers you shut off. It's time to rip those doors open and face that fucking demon. Get in there, look him in the eyes and say, what's up? You've got to get deep into that darkness, wrestle with it, and figure it the fuck out. It might take months, hell, it might take years, but you've got to find your purpose. You've got to figure out what the fuck you want to be in this life. And once you do that, you can start accepting the hard truths. Maybe you're just not good enough at certain things. Yeah, not all of us can be LeBron James. But let me tell you something. We all got more guts, more willpower, more fucking fight in us than we ever think we do. That's the truth. It's not about talent. It's about how much you're willing to dig in and fight through the shit. Most people, they want that comfort. They want to hear, oh man, I'm not feeling great today. And then have someone say, hey, it's okay, brother. Let's take a break. Order some pizza. Watch the game. Yeah, that sounds nice, doesn't it? But guess what? That's the reason my friends hate my ass, because I'm hard as hell on myself. And if I'm hard on me, I sure as hell don't give a fuck about what you think. I don't need your validation. I'm good. You want to know why I still do this? Why I get up at 3, 4, 5 in the fucking morning? It's not about me anymore. I'm leading by example for thousands of people out there. People ask, what drives you now? It ain't about me, man. I'm comfortable. I'm good. But it's not about being comfortable. It's about showing others what's possible. It's possible. It's payback time. God gave me everything I needed. And now I'm here to pay it forward by pushing myself harder than anyone expects. That's why I suffer. That's why I get up early. So I can set the standard, set the example. Most people just want to be the best among the average, but not me. I'm not here to be average. These people, they go to the gym, they get big, they get jacked, they can run fast, but what are they really doing? They're just putting a coat of paint over a weak mind. Yeah, your body's strong, but when life throws you that second punch, your mind's still soft as hell. And then they're sitting there like, what the fuck? I'm fit, I'm strong. Why am I breaking? Because your mind hasn't caught up. All you've done is build a bigger, stronger quitter. Life knocked me down hard. I mean, I was laid out. 12th round of a 15-round heavyweight fight, completely knocked the fuck out. But here's the thing, while the other guy turned his back. thinking it was over. I was getting up. And when I got up, I didn't just stand there. I won the next 3 rounds. That's my whole mindset, man. Can't hurt me. Yeah, I was hurt. I was beaten down. But the fight ain't over until I say it's over. The first 26 years of my life, pure hell, I had to fight through so much shit. And guess what? I still fight it every damn day. It's not over. But the mindset, that can't hurt me mentality, that's what keeps me going. No matter what's in front of me, I'm going to face it head on, beat it down, and keep pushing forward. I've had to overcome my father's abuse, the kids who bullied me, my learning disabilities, the constant failures, the stuttering, all that bullshit. It was either I overcome those things or they would have taken me out. And I wasn't about to let anything beat me. Through this whole journey, I started building someone new. I wasn't the same guy anymore. People started looking at me like I was some superhero. But in the back of my mind, I knew the real story. I was like, man, one day you got to share this. One day you got to let people in on the truth. But there was always that voice saying, nah, man, don't go back. Stay where you are. People think you're great now. Don't mess with that. But fuck that. If you want to be real, if you want to be great, you've got to face the truth of who you really are. That's where the real power is. The only way to really help people out is to show them this shit is possible. I had to go back and be real about it. This is where I come from. And where I came from, man, that was hell. What the world loves to do is see people doing the impossible, then slap a title on them. The second we label someone as superhuman or as the 1%, it lets everyone else off the hook. They think, I don't need to try that hard because I'm not like them. God made them special. They're born different bullshit. There are no special people. There are only special minds, and the craziest part is you can build that mind yourself. You don't need to be born with it. That's why I wrote my book the way I did. I want people to look at my story and say, damn, this dude came from rock bottom and had to fight through all this. I take away all those titles people want to give me, whether it's crazy, superhuman, or anything else. All they get stripped away. I'm training my mind, my body, and my spirit, making them one so I can handle whatever life throws at me. Because let me tell you something, the life I've lived, it'll throw a whole lot at you. And if you're not physically and mentally ready for that, you're going to crumble. You'll be no good to anyone, not to yourself, not to others. When you're suffering, that's when you forget how hard you really are. That's what suffering is, a test. It's all just a test. Suffering is life's way of seeing what you're made of. And right now where I'm at, that's the ultimate peace. When you've been through enough shit, you find peace in the suffering. Because you know it's just another test to pass. Listen, man, we're all capable of greatness. It doesn't matter if you think you're dumb, if you're fat, if you are fat, if you've been bullied, none of that shit matters. We all have greatness inside us. But here's the thing, you got to have the courage to find it. You got to put on those big ass headphones, drown out all the noise and go after it. That's what separates you from everyone else. And that's exactly what Can't Hurt Maine is about. And yeah, my dad was a devil in his own way, but the truth is I was holding myself back the whole damn time. I was using him as my excuse. I was hoping that somehow confronting him would give me permission to stay weak, to keep saying, it's okay, David, you're a loser. You were born to lose, so just accept it. But here's the thing, when I finally faced him, I realized he wasn't going to give me that out. He wasn't going to apologize. He wasn't going to save me. Nobody's coming to save you. My dad wasn't going to save me. My mom wasn't going to save me. I had to save myself. And that's when it hit me the rest of my life wasn't going to suck. Because I was a loser. It was going to suck. Because now I was finally going to start winning. And winning takes work. People who rely on talent, man, they're some of the hardest people to push. They think because they've got a little bit of natural ability, they're set. They don't want to go deeper. They don't realize that to be truly great, you have to go beyond talent. You have to dig into that mental zone, that place where talent doesn't mean shit anymore. That's where the real work begins, when you leave talent behind and get into the grind. That's where you find out what you're really made of. Beyond talent is where you find the true levels. And most people don't even know those levels exist because they're too damn comfortable with being good enough. Fuck that. If you can drag a motherfucker down into the deep end while that other guy is still just dipping his toe in, trying to see how cold the water is, it's over. The dude who lives in the deep end, who thrives in it, that guy's mentally tough. He's got the edge, and once you're in his world, it's done. These people live for the deep end, man. They don't just survive there, they thrive. You've seen it when you're fighting someone and you can see it in their eyes. You've broken them. They're thinking, oh God, I don't want to go another round. Meanwhile, you're standing there like, I can go all day. Let's keep fighting. That's what taking souls is all about. It's when you've got nothing left physically, mentally, spiritually, you're jacked up, but you still find a way to give more. That's the kind of mentality where you start feeding off the energy of breaking someone down. You take that one moment of doubt from them and it fuels you. That's all you need. You lock eyes with someone and you can see when they've had enough, when they're thinking, I don't want to go another round, but you're ready to fight all day long. It's about what you tell yourself, man. When I was getting beat down physically, mentally, emotionally, I kept repeating, you can't hurt me. It wasn't just words, it became a mindset. That's where the whole can't hurt man comes from. You've got to drill that into your brain. So when the world is throwing everything at you, you're standing there unbreakable. You refuse to quit, ever. Stay hard, motherfucker.